Could the new Steam console mean bad news for the Nintendo Switch? All right, friends, we've got a lot to discuss this week from the Steam console, the Mario movie, and the new Animal Crossing. Let's get into it. Do you have a birthday or special event coming up? Or do you just in general need to eat more fruit? Well, I have some good news for you. Nintendo has a collaboration with Edible Arrangements. Yay! I will say though, I looked these up. It's a little lacking for me. I feel like we could have put more effort into it. Like there's literally nothing like unique. It's like exciting because there's pineapple stars, but they already had pineapple stars. People who have already had an edible arrangement, no, that's not special, okay? And then they have these little like white chocolate coins that they put on top of the chocolate covered strawberries that have characters on them. Come on, Edible Arrangements. I feel like you could have put a little more effort into this. Am I going to turn down an edible arrangement? No. If you tell me I'm getting a Nintendo edible arrangement, I want like a honeydew melon Yoshi. I want like, I don't know, I guess I don't want literal mushrooms, but you could have given us literal mushrooms if you wanted to, and you didn't. They don't even have peaches. It's literally Princess Peach. It's right in front of you. That being said, if you do end up buying an edible arrangement, you get Nintendo points for them. Yay! Next up is the new Mario movie. That's right, the Super Mario Brothers are back. Mario and Mario Luigi are making their return to the silver screen. Will it be better than last time? Only time will tell. What was it like last time? Let's roll the clip.
Name? Mario. Last name? Mario. Okay, what's your name?
Luigi.
Luigi?
Luigi Mario.
All I can say is at least we know whatever we get is probably gonna be better than that. We know that somebody from Illumination is officially now on the board of Nintendo, which means they are 100% going to be the ones behind the making of this movie. If you don't know, Illumination made the Minions, they made Sing, which leads me to believe that we're not going the live action route that they did before. We're probably gonna go animation. There has been some good, some bad of video game movies. Detective Pikachu, we all thought it was gonna suck. That was good. Angry Birds the movie, horrible. Never again. I saw that movie and I got out of the theater and I was like, oh my God, that movie was 3 hours long. I looked it up, it was like an hour. I expect this movie is going to be somewhere in the middle. I don't think that Nintendo has the guts to do what it takes to make something that's going to be as different as Detective Pikachu. There's no way that this movie is going to get a PG-13 rating. We're gonna get a PG or a G. I will confess, I liked Despicable Me. I thought Despicable Me was great. I did not watch the Minions movie, and I hope that this Mario Bros movie does not end up like a Minions movie. I predict it's gonna be somewhere in between Detective Pikachu and Angry Birds. Hopefully more on the Detective Pikachu side.
I will electrocute you.
I'm rooting for us. I'm gonna watch it, whether it's trash or whether it's good. So either way they have their money, I just hope that I enjoy it. I say this as a Princess Peach. That's right, your girl played Princess Peach in a parody musical called Bros, the Nintendo musical.
Who would have thought I would have been able to learn karate by myself without any teacher?
Nintendo, please don't sue us. Is there any hope for an Animal Crossing sequel?
Okay, guys.
I scoured the internet looking for breadcrumbs. People are literally deleting their islands right now out of desperation just to have a semblance of playing the game over. And I found literally nothing. Like there are no crumbs for a new Animal Crossing sequel. So much, in fact, that in the Nintendo Switch OLED trailer, they featured all the Nintendo flagships and they did not feature Animal Crossing. This is not a good sign for us. I did find some rumors. They're a little weird, so I don't know how much we can trust in them, but I'm gonna discuss them anyway. First up, people are thinking Tom Nook might be cut from the games. Now, I will say in my own redo playthrough of Animal Crossing, Tom Nook is getting on my nerves. He's always putting me into debt, but he's a classic flagship of the game. I feel like the game would be empty without him. Like, who am I supposed to hate? Isabelle? She's way too sweet. The reason people think this is because in Animal Crossing New Horizons, this was the first time we saw Tom Nook be kind of booted from his role as shop owner, which we all know Isabelle took over. Animal Crossing also has a history of kind of mixing things up when it comes to new games. No two copies are ever the same. They always go with a little bit of a different journey, but the one steady thing we can always count on is that Tom Nook is gonna be there. And I don't know if I'm ready for Tom Nook to be taken away from me. And we got a love-hate relationship, me and old Tom Nook. I will say though, however, don't get too worried if you're a major Tom Nook fan. Just the other day, I was walking by a Build-A-Bear and they had both Isabelle and Tom Nook, and I don't think they would be selling stuffed animal versions of Tom Nook if his popularity had reached an all-time low that people wanted him out of the game. They obviously are rooting for people to love Tom Nook despite his various flaws. So Nintendo, if you're watching this, what do we want from a new game? We want more villagers. This was a huge hit in this new version of Animal Crossing. They had all these different personalities, but unfortunately a lot of dialogue was still the same. We would just love for this new Animal Crossing, whenever it comes out, to really dive into the differences between characters and give us more unique dialogue. We would also love for our new Animal Crossing game to have more building techniques. There was a lot to do with building on Animal Crossing New Leaf, but when it came to Animal Crossing New Horizons, you could personalize your island and your house to a certain point. We would love to have those extra features back. Also, we need a bigger inventory. Like, I'm replaying the game right now, and I'm so tired of my pockets always being full. It's driving me nuts. I also am really hoping for this new game to have more fun, unique things like the whole turnip stock market. That was a huge thing. And so I really hope to see in a new flagship more ways that we can kind of game the system and get really, really into it. Like, there were apps just tracking the turnip stock market. I think if Nintendo really leaned into that on whatever the next Animal Crossing is, we would have a huge hit on our hands. All right, so what do we know for sure about Animal Crossing? All of this so far has been speculation, but what we know for sure is that we're getting an update sometime. Executives have been so vague about this. All they keep saying is,
"We're not done with Animal Crossing. Don't worry."
But no action whatsoever. And Nintendo, obviously the people who've been following Animal Crossing forever are gonna wait around, but for the first time ever, you have this giant success with all these new people playing Animal Crossing, and they're not gonna wait around forever for this inevitable update. You gotta get moving, Nintendo. So if you don't know, this new console is called the Steam Deck. It has the same price point as the Nintendo Switch OLED. Looks a lot like the Nintendo Switch OLED. And also offers 64 gigabytes of storage. Very similar again to the Switch OLED. There are some differences though. Major difference is that this 64 gigabytes of storage is the lowest for the Steam Deck and only go higher for a higher price point. The OLED, this is as much as we can get. This Steam Deck allows you to actually play PC games in a handheld version. You can even log into your Steam account from the Steam Deck and play your games that you already bought. Doesn't need to be any double buying to play a game on your Steam Deck that you have on your computer. Now here's where the bad news for Nintendo comes in. You already know that people have been able to play older Nintendo games on the PC. This would allow them to play those older Nintendo games also on their Steam Deck. I've even heard that people have found a way to play Switch games on the Steam Deck. And if that's true, that is some major bad news. This console is way more powerful than what we've seen coming out from Nintendo. And I hope this kind of makes Nintendo wake up and realize that they need to do more. They've kind of been playing it very safe and cozy since they came out with the Switch. Haven't done anything too big or too different. The Switch OLED is just slightly different, nothing too crazy. Animal Crossing, nothing too crazy happening there. Hopefully this wakes them up and realize now they have some real competition when it comes to handheld gaming. Of course, I'm always rooting for Nintendo, and I only hope that this competition makes us stronger.